Welcome, Vit. Welcome, Tariq.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank you
to
very
Dubai.
much. Great to be here. Great pleasure to meet you.
Why Dubai today?
Well, Dubai is the place to be in, and Tariq is a great, person with great capabilities. And the main reason is that we are making major steps here, diplomatic and commercial steps for the future of our country.
Which country?
Country of Liberland.
Oh, wow. And let me directly ask, how do you feel being a president of a country and a secretary of state also, of course?
Of course, it's a big responsibility. We've got now 750,000 people that are watching us, that are our nationals, people that feel they belong to the country. It's not a small group of people. It's already a bigger city if you think about it. And it's actually some 6 times more people that we can even fit in Liberland. So this community of Liberlanders around the world is watching every our step.
For how many years?
For now, 8 years.
8 years.
Yes. We started the country 8 years ago. We're working hard on it. Tariq actually joined us at the very, very beginning of the whole effort, and he has been one of the really gems of our diplomacy and
no doubt of that.
Of our diplomatic work. But maybe we can talk about Tariq. Let's talk about Tariq, because I don't think he really got enough space in the media since the creation of Liberland.
Please, Mr. Secretary of State, how do you feel to be being a Secretary of State?
Once again, good morning, Sal. It's such a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.
We go back sort of long time. But,
for a long time,
yes, but it's a joy.
London time, yes. My London period.
London period, and the Roma period.
And Roma,
of
course.
We go back there. Well, as Mr. President said, that I've been round with him at the forefront of diplomacy, the creation of the contacts with the outside world. It's been enormously difficult, but at the same time, very exciting to make new friends. Diplomacy is all about friends. That's how you actually approach the other people, and what you have to offer to them. And I think wherever I've gone, in fact, so many countries, when I start discussing the Liberland, they find it so intriguing. They find it so exciting. They find that, wow. And one of the head of state, actually, I was sitting in, we talked about it. He said, we've had enough of the old friends. We could do with new friends. We do need to create something new and exciting, which will actually, bring in more joy to them. The former colonialism and the masters. I think we could do without it. So I think it's something new, something different, something unique, and something being sort of created out of no battle with no one, no war with no one, no, in fact, no argument with no one. It's just a peaceful creation of another nation, which in fact is very important to us.
And who had the idea to found this country or a new country?
Well, it was initially, right, the idea itself was there. We just took it, right? We didn't find it, and it's an idea that is there for thousands of years, probably with mankind, to really find more oriented freedom setup of the society, to release the spirit of the freedom which brings a huge prosperity. And there was things like Exodus, that where people just left because they felt oppressed. There are many historical other events like the creation of United States and Declaration of Independence. And in a way, I see Liberland as one of these other events in the history where people kind of just said, we have enough. We want something different. We want to change the way that the state and the citizens are interacting. We want a little bit more voluntarism. We want, for example, voluntary tax system. We want to have much less regulations, much less bureaucracy, and we want to take this to the limit and see where it goes.
Is there a constitution or a civil code?
Yeah, there is a really nice constitution. It took 8 years also to develop. It has been developing with us, but not just that there is a constitution, which I believe combines the best elements of existing governance systems. like democracy, like corporation, like basically a republic, which was the core principle of Liberland. That's why we are a republic. But also the technologies, the blockchain, which has been very exciting to implement. So everything that is happening inside of our jurisdiction is actually happening on this decentralized platform. Be it elections, budgeting, activities of Congress, Senate, or justice system, or registry of the property. So whatever you can think of, we don't need to have a special IT system for it in Liberland, because it's all one single transparent, trustless platform where you don't need middlemen. So, we are removing the regulations, but we are also removing an enormous number of bureaucrats, because nobody needs to do audit. Everything is transparent. Nobody needs to count the votes. Everything is happening directly in the system.
No, I understand and agree. That's the reason of thanking you for the opportunity. Also to me, it's important to have more information directly to you regarding what Liberland is and the programs. But despite of that, when the system will increase, you need a card. You need to dispute cases. You need to think in the future to become really operative or not.
Yeah, we do, and that's since we finally after 8 years settled the territory and we're building there, and
where is situated?
That's a good question. Of course, Liberland is a 7 square kilometer country. We're 3 times bigger than Monaco, and we're between Croatia and Serbia, only 10 kilometers from Hungarian borders. So if you find the intersection of these 3 countries, you will find us. It's a heart-shaped territory. It's a beautiful piece of land with a very nice big island where most of the activities are happening now.
Danube River?
Yes, on the Danube River.
Wow.
On the Danube River. So we're
Wow.
on a beautiful sandy island, but there is also a huge territory next to it, and anybody can see it on Google Maps. And Google Maps are now even showing the streets in Liberland and their names. It's very exciting to see that there is somebody that is following us directly at the Google.
And what Croatian or Serbian thinks about to having a country like Liberland to their borders?
I would say quite excited in a way. They say they don't mind creation of Liberland. It was not created on their territory, which was extremely helpful considering that Serbia is the last known sovereign over this territory, as well as private owner of this territory. And Croatia has never accepted territory into their maps, into their jurisdiction. So it is very interesting situation in which Liberland was created on a territory that was not claimed by anybody, but also not occupied by anybody. Yet we still have some issues. There are issues to overcome when you're building a country. But I'm very happy about the way that we are being step by step more and more accepted by Croatia as a neighbor as well.
But is Liberland an official country, is recognized, for example, from United Nations?
Well, United Nations, okay, the Security Council can make some sort of recognition, but United Nations really is not a partner for us at this stage. It's different sovereign countries. And I can tell you, for example, with the recent elections in Argentina, the gentleman that has won the presidential election has been a strong proponent of Liberland. He even said that he is a general coming from Liberland to fix Argentina. So I can tell you, we have our office there. It's directly, basically, at the headquarters of the Libertarian Party now, which is very exciting, and everybody in there knows about Liberland. We're making major steps to become fully recognized in Argentina. But we've got 7 countries where we made some diplomatic deal. I think this is where Tariq really is the expert.
If you remember the countries, it's interesting.
I think what we, within the past 8 weeks, in fact, actually nearly 9th year coming up in April, just a few months from now. So almost 9 years. So within those 9 years, we've done tremendous work. with several states, several governments, where we have managed to sign treaties. We have managed to actually sign even basic memorandum of understanding. So so just to make friends. Look, when first thing is that you say hello and make a friend. Well, once you are a friend, you will do things with the passage of time. It's not a recognition, but it is a form of recognition, because you signing a treaty with another entity. Basically, if it didn't exist, you wouldn't sign it. So it exists. That means if you and I sign something together, we're recognizing each other. We're recognizing each other's existence. That we are there. So I think with Liberland is exactly the same. That it's received well in the outside world. We have offices or representatives in over 90 countries now.
Even Italy?
Even Italy, of course, yeah. Of course.
In Italy, we're in Vatican for the whole country.
Great job. You made a great job.
Absolutely. And Carmen Spinali is our ambassador at large there.
Okay,
and he does tremendous work, amount of work actually, he's done it over the past several years. We've been there, and the recent trip was within the Vatican. So that, it was just to show that who we are and what we are there for. So,
but let me just mention one thing. International law, especially Montevideo criteria, is very specific in this fact that if you follow all the Montevideo criteria, if you basically have population, you have governance, you have capacity to enter into relation with other countries, you have your territory well delimited, we actually do now follow all the Montevideo criteria. And the Montevideo criteria even says that it doesn't matter if other countries recognize you or not. If you follow these criteria, you are actually a state, right? And this is the case with the first country where we made some major deal. That was Somaliland. I wanted to point it out, but basically we purposefully went to Somaliland because it's a country big as United Kingdom with 5 million people living there. Nobody recognizes Somaliland, but the country exists. People are doing business. So that's why they were actually our initial partner also, just to make a point.
Yes, but there are about 45 countries, which are unrecognized by United Nations. But as the President said, they've been existing for 30, 40 years. They do business with the rest of the world. They have their own travel documents. They have their own, the foreign exchange dealing. They have everything like a country would have. But are they suffering because they are not a part of a known club? Yes. Because certain things will only come to you on your doorstep once you join that club. But by joining that club, I think Liberland would lose a lot of actually is the core values on which that is being built. So it's a question mark there. Will we ever join that club to be called a recognized country? We don't know yet. I mean, it's only time will tell.
To be honest with you, Tariq, I think we're actually very close to joining that club, especially with the developments in Argentina. Yes. And we are there already. I mean, the fact that even Croatia now recognizes us basically as a state. They call us a para-state, basically a state that lacks international recognition. So we got there even with our neighbor. So that's quite exciting, right? that even though they're not 100% friendly to us, yet I have to tell you that still they're treating us very well compared to the ways that they have treated many other occasions in past. I have to tell you that even Croatia basically now recognizes in their own paperwork as a state in a way.
Yeah.
Is there some political party involved in Liberland, or Liberland is close to some political side of the table?
Last time I counted political parties in Liberland.
Because you mentioned Argentina, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yes. Last time I counted political parties, but I just was looking for parties that created some Facebook page. I counted, I think, 21 political parties. That was fun.
But they're just parties, not actually, the political party. They're just having party. That's it.
The biggest one of political parties, funnily enough, is a Communist Party of Liberland. I think they have like 6,000 followers on Facebook.
Okay,
but there is no substance. created at the very beginning of Liberland.
How
for
much
fun.
time do you, of your day, do you spend to support this important project? Eric, for example.
Goodness, that's a tough question. I think if you passionately believe in something that you're going to achieve it, the spending of time and limits, that becomes secondary, because you just put your hat down and you're continuously working.
But the reason you say that is a wonderful phrase,
Yes.
but because you don't have the mortgage that I have to pay back.
But I take your point. I think we all have families, and I have businesses, and all have run. But I think we still have to share, part of our time. Of course, Mr. President is 100% Liberland.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
But of course, me being much older than he is, I have some more responsibility at the same time with the family, with the business, running around. But as I said, if it means that we need to travel, we need to go and make that travel and will make a difference, then we'll do so. Here, for argument's sake, we've had, since we arrived, we have so many meetings and so many actually positive meetings where we have, managed to sign up, people agreements, investment agreements, where people are delighted to. When we are ready, they'll be happy to jump in.
President, 100% of your day?
Yes.
Is it full-time job?
And we were just talking about the fact that we both slept 4 hours today. And and I wake up and I do the job and I go to sleep. So, it's 18 hours most of these days.
So allow me now my next question. What do you gain, or what do you gain from that? What is your remuneration?
I think
which kind of advantages?
You don't even look at that because
No, I want to know.
There's a goal at the end
I want to
of
know
the
if
day.
it's a job,
No.
if there are economical interests.
It's more than a job. It's more than a job, because once you, again, I would say, passionately believe in something that in 5 years' time, this is going to be very fruitful for yourself and for the others, within the establishment, and your families and your friends and the people who will start living in. So I think once you see that vision, when you have it, the other things become actually secondary, of a secondary nature.
Let Mr. President will give the same answer. What do you gain, or did you gain until today? I don't know, $1 million, $2 million or something like that.
Everything that we are making, I'm reinvesting back into Liberland. I don't have any better investment than creation of a country.
Yes.
And and I get an enormous number of great friends. I think this is the biggest advantage of building or being part of Liberland, because the people that are joining this movement to create a new country, it's really an exciting crowd to be around. I feel even more pressure. Talking about 5 years, Tariq, actually, I'm still thinking, the next spring will be the most exciting, probably, time in the creation of Liberland. Right now, we had a small flood on the territory, so that stopped our construction works for a week. But everything is happening again next week. We built a small church, we've got a small pub there, we had a small wedding, the first even tournament in MMA happened there. So all these things are rolling, and we've got line of media again coming to Liberland. We have to celebrate properly the Christmas, the New Year's Eve. So the things, unlike in last 8 years where we were just talking about doing things in Liberland, things are finally happening.
One question is particularly important to me, and is, what is the tax regime of Liberland?
That's a very good question.
Important questions.
And I think this is the most important innovation that Liberland is bringing to the world. And I think this is a not completely new concept. Even some ideas when the founding fathers of United States were discussing it as a voluntary tax system. Basically, it's kind of an oxymoron, right? Because taxes are by definition kind of obligatory, and they are enforced by the state. But I think this is the best way to describe it so that people can understand it. Basically, our country is based on donation, and if you donate to the country, you even get something back, which is another great innovation. So whenever you pay taxes or you donate to the country, you are being given the shares of the country back, which I think is a great motivation to pay taxes. They want to be part of they want to be real owners, not some hypothetical owners like in democracy in a way. They want to be real owners of the country. They want to feel the attachment. So voluntary taxes in combination with basically a shareholding structure of Liberland are the biggest two innovation that we are putting on the table.
And do you think this model will be sustainable?
It is already sustainable. It's kind of exciting that that we are having almost every year since inception. We always had bigger budget, bigger opportunities to build things. So far so good, I would say. And the fact that we have actually gained grounds in Liberland, and we managed to push the project in order to gain grounds in Liberland now for 8 years. And this year, the capabilities, we have grown 10x. I think that just the number of people working for Liberland over the last 5 months has grown 10x. So the expansion is huge. We're at the beginning of exponential growth right now.
And what about the values? Why the world needs to have this country or inaugurate this country on our planet?
I think, as I said earlier, there have always been a change. You've seen in the history that old countries have disappeared, new ones have been born, and this is just another opportunity. and I go back to my statement early on when the head of state said, we need creative people. We need creative friends around us who would actually bring us technology, knowledge, and friendship at the same time, unconditional, rather than, well, you do this, otherwise you'll be, slapped. So I think that is the motivation actually for everybody. It's a unique opportunity also for us. You don't get to build a country every day or in your lifetime even. So this is an amazing adrenaline sort of pushing
I agree.
opportunity
Personally,
every single day. There's something new, something exciting, something which will make a difference in somebody's life. So it's actually is dealing with the problems and trying to find solutions for those. And I always tell my friend that God Almighty doesn't give problems to stupid people. He gives problems to intelligent people so that they can find a solution for those problems for themselves and for the others also.
For the other people,
So I think we are there to going through difficulty, but it's a learning curve for us here. It's a learning process for us. We've never been politicians. We never call us that we are politicians. We are business people, and we are taking this actually project as a business project, which will hopefully enhance the lifestyle of the others and make a difference in our neighboring countries also, in their livelihood, bringing more revenue, more sort of prosperity within that region. So we're looking forward to putting something back at a bigger scale.
Another question is, there is a currency, specific currency that I can use in your country.
Yes. So, of course, Bitcoin is the number one thing from inception.
Yes.
Bitcoin has played a major role in our reserves from beginning, and I'm of course grateful for that initial decision, because that helped us to not needing to raise too much extra voluntary taxes, because our budget has grown throughout the time, most of the time since inception, and Bitcoin was $235 when Liberland started, right? So there was a big growth on the way. But on the other hand, we have also decided to build this whole ecosystem. You cannot have a shareholding structure really without having your own share. So we have built this as a standalone blockchain platform, which allows people to do the voting, to be the validators, to make sure that the network is secure, to do all kinds of other things. Now, we were also smart contract network, so you can start your company on top of our blockchain, you can issue your shares, you can make DeFi products. So I'm very excited that there is now this company that wants to make stable coins on top of Liberland smart contract network. So there are these huge opportunities with this new technology brings, that in combination with the sovereignty. Think about it from the other perspective. Like, we are the first entity ever to basically tokenize freedom and tokenize sovereignty of a nation state, which I think is a completely new type of asset.
Really?
Nobody has never put that forth, and I think we did a good job with our constitution, that we really managed to combine the best elements of democracy that we found in Switzerland, best elements of republic that we found in US constitution, and best elements of this corporate world, but that we have taken from this new decentralized autonomous organizations world that is growing quickly, very quickly, right? So there is a lot of inspiration how to organize these things there as well, and we managed to push these things together in a compact and meaningful way. So we've got the best elements of each of these systems.
Great, and there is a bank, a central bank also, for Liberland dollar, if I would remember.
Liberland dollar is a concept, basically, if you're familiar with Milton Friedman, one of the Nobel candidates. He managed to put together a concept that you can have automated central bank without central bankers, with a stable inflation. So our Liberland dollar is used for security of the network, but its principles, how it's being issued, are completely automated. So it's just growing as much liquidity or as much free tokens are available. If there is too many, the system shrinks a little bit. If there are too little, it also shrinks. So it's automatically being adjusted to the situation in the market, but without no central bankers. We have a central bank, kind of.
I hope this answer.
Without central bankers.
Really?
So we've got basically two tokens. One of them is Liberland Merit, that represents the territory. Ideal share in that territory is 70 million of them. So every 10 merits basically symbolically represent one meter of Liberland, and this is similar dynamics like Bitcoin. It's being released continuously to the market, and every year we release less and less and less. And then there is Liberland dollar, which is there for the security of the network. It's kind of our currency in a way. There is much less dollars than there is merits, by the way, 10 times less, but it will always be releasing more automatically, with around 5 to 10% newly added tokens each year according to the situation.
And is it a stable coin? Liberland dollar?
No. But there is another third project which I'm telling you about, is the creation of stable coins. But Liberland dollar is much more precious than Liberland Merit. But it's being mainly used for stability of the network itself. So you have to stake these tokens to be able to choose which Liberland citizens will have the right to count the votes, basically.
Great. Thank you for this opportunity to let me understand better regarding the initiative of Liberland. I'm very excited, and my questions were to understand where I'm joined with you. And it will be a pleasure to be part of that, I'm sure. So I will make my application hoping to be welcome to your country.
It only takes 5 minutes, and we've got a very exciting new program. So if people basically don't want to become a major shareholder or like a voting citizen, they can also come for 7 days. And they can help in Liberland. So they just make the basic application on the website, and if you help to grow Liberland physically on the territory for 7 days, you can become citizen. But of course, there are different ways how people can contribute. People are helping us with programming, with media coverage, and with other things.
With real estate. I'm a real estate guide.
Amazing, with real estate. So let's get the real estate market
development. Yeah,
we've got a very nice houseboat in Liberland, and there is a first time sharing opportunity, and I think that will be very exciting. It can host up to 150 people. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it could be great to realize my Bitcoin tower concept in Liberland. It's the perfect place.
I think when we discussed last time, I was here, and I did go back and inform Mr. President that, look, I have a very dear friend who's come up with the beautiful design of Bitcoin tower. So I think realization of that dream is possible. It just depends how actually much time we're going to be spending and how much investment comes in for that. Liberland is open for that. I think that would be great, monumental.
To the Bitcoin values, but also a new way to do development projects. Because, what I notice, not many people involved in real estate, they understand and knows this new coming way to do things through Web 3.0, blockchain, and coins or tokens. And if you speak with many crypto experts or addicted, not only passionate, they don't understand so well regarding the traditional way that real estate represents. So the idea is to create a bridge and also to create a new model, for example, to transfer a property through blockchain or through an NFT. So I put a lot of effort in building this concept, I call concept, and honestly I think that before or after, me or someone better than me will realize this.
The importance of
these towers.
Let's look into building the first one in Liberland, and let's do it before Christmas. That would be very, very exciting.
The kind of 6 weeks to do it.
Well, by the way, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it's doable because you know what? In Liberland, we really don't need to issue any building permits. It's kind of exciting.
Oh wow!
See, that's a plus point, sir.
Really,
you've been in business and real estate for so long, and me too, almost 35 years now. Okay,
more than you in my case.
So I think what Mr. President mentioned, that since you don't need permits, you can start building the very next day. All you need is a shovel and some and some sand and cement.
In 6 weeks, it will be a bit difficult also to realize it in the metaverse, honestly, in the Liberland metaverse, of course.
But there is one, by the way, and I think we are actually able to faster now execute it in physical space. There are some 20 people basically ready to build. So I will take you on that one. It's a challenge, but we can build a Bitcoin. We can build a symbolic Bitcoin tower for you.
It's about 3 meters high or 2 meters. Is that okay?
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's just
they're a great idea.
I have a vision already for 1 story high. Bitcoin tower that will be a first comfortable accommodation on Liberty Island, a proper one. So I think it's doable, and even though it might be a little bit cold, let's go for it.
I think it's a great idea. I think I think this will take us, perhaps all of us, one step closer in achieving that sort of dream. That the work has started. People have actually started coming up with the great idea, not only idea on a piece of paper, but really actually implementing it at the right time. So I think welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you next time in Dubai or in Liberland, I hope.
Please come. Every single weekend now there is a cultural event, sport event.
I will come for sure.
Amazing.
And it's a beautiful river Danube. You wouldn't miss the boat ride in there. Passing, through the Liberty Island and enjoying it. It's such a beautiful sight.
Thanks again for your time.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Good.